Welcome to Cozy Reading Club, the podcast where we read the book and tell you about it so you don't have to.
Here we go again.
Okay, so picking up where we left off in our last deep dive, Odysseus had finally managed to get away from Calypso. Freedom.
Well, freedom for about 5 minutes, maybe? Because almost immediately Poseidon spots him.
Oh, yeah. The sea god was not happy. Cue massive storm.
Exactly. A terrible storm. And Odysseus ends up completely wrecked, again, washed ashore somewhere totally unknown.
Clinging to dear life, basically. So he's survived, but he's alone, naked, exhausted, on some mysterious beach.
A pretty grim start to the next chapter, you could say. So where does he go from there?
Right. Well, this brings us to book 6, and things start looking up a tiny bit, thanks, as usual, to Athena stepping in.
Athena. Always got Odysseus' back. What's her plan this time?
It starts with a dream. She visits Princess Nausicaa. She's the daughter of the local rulers, King Alcinous and Queen Arete.
Rulers of the Feudation, right?
Yeah.
This new land he stumbled into.
Exactly. And Athena appears to Nausicaa in this dream, disguised, and suggests, maybe it's time she went and washed some clothes down by the river.
Laundry day. Seems a bit mundane for a goddess.
Huh. Well, yes, but it's all about getting Nausicaa to the right place at the right time. It's practical.
Okay. So Nausicaa thinks, good idea.
She does. She gets her mates together, they load up a cart with laundry, and off they go to the river mouth where the washing pools are.
Sounds quite idyllic, actually. Washing clothes, sunshine.
Yeah, they finish the washing, and then they start playing ball, laughing, shouting, just having fun.
But their fun inadvertently wakes someone up.
Our hero, Odysseus. He'd crawled into a nearby thicket, buried himself in olive leaves to sleep off the exhaustion.
And he hears these voices, young women's voices. But he's in a bit of a state.
A bit. He's got nothing. No clothes, covered in brine and dirt. It's not exactly his best look.
So what does he do? He needs help desperately.
He decides he has to approach them. He breaks off an olive branch to cover himself, minimally, and steps out.
I can imagine the reaction.
Oh, yeah. The maids scream and scatter immediately, run for the hills.
Can't blame them. A wild-looking, naked man emerging from the bushes.
Totally understandable. But Nausicaa, she doesn't run.
Okay. Why not?
Well, Homer says Athena put courage into her heart, but it also shows her character, right? She holds her ground.
Brave girl. So Odysseus has one chance here. He needs to be persuasive.
And he is. He's very smart about it. He doesn't rush forward. He speaks from a distance. And he lays on the charm.
How so? What does he say?
He starts with some serious flattery. Wonders if she's a goddess, maybe Artemis. Praises her beauty, her parents. He's trying to, disarm the situation. Smooth talker.
Always the strategist, even when he's naked and shipwrecked. Does it work?
It absolutely does. Nausicaa listens. She sees he's not just some brute, but someone articulate, even if he looks rough.
And she feels pity for him.
Yes. She tells her maids off for running away, reminds him of the duty to help strangers. Then she addresses Odysseus directly.
And offers help.
She does. She gives him directions to bathe in the river, away from them, and gives him olive oil that's like ancient Greek soap, basically, and fresh clothes from the laundry, and food and drink.
Wow, that's incredibly generous. And brave, considering she knows nothing about him.
It really is. But she's also practical. She tells him, look, you can't walk into town with me.
Why not?
She explains that her people, the Phaeacians, they're great sailors, but they're kind of suspicious of outsiders. They don't mix much.
Okay. So walking in with a strange man might cause gossip, maybe trouble for her.
Exactly. She's thinking ahead, so she gives him a plan. Wait here, follow later.
Smart. And does she tell him what to do once he gets to the palace?
Yes, very specific instructions. Find the palace, go straight in, and bypass her father, the king.
Bypass the king.
Yep, and go directly to her mother, Queen Arete. Clasp her knees as a suppliant.
Why the queen specifically?
Nausicaa emphasizes that Arete is incredibly wise, highly respected, and crucially, if she takes pity on him, his passage home is practically guaranteed. Her word carries a lot of weight.
Interesting dynamic there. So the queen holds the real power, or at least the key to Odysseus' situation.
Seems that way. So Nausicaa and her maids head back to the city, and Odysseus waits, then follows her instructions. This takes us into book 7.
Okay, so he's heading for the palace. Alone now.
Well, not entirely alone. Athena's still on the case.
Of course she is. How does she help this time?
She meets him on the road, disguised as a young local girl carrying a pitcher. She offers to guide him.
Convenient.
Very. And she does something else really important. She wraps him in this thick mist.
A mist? Like invisibility?
Pretty much. To make sure none of the famously nosy Phaeacians stop him or ask awkward questions before he can get to the palace, keeps him hidden.
Clever divine intervention. So he gets to the palace unseen.
Guided by Athena, yes. And he's just amazed by what he sees.
The palace must be something special.
Oh, it is. The description is incredible. Walls of bronze, shining bright, golden doors, silver doorposts, and lintels. And these guard dogs at the entrance made of gold and silver, crafted by Hephaestus himself, the god of smiths.
Okay, so this is beyond just wealthy. This is almost otherworldly.
It really feels like it. And inside, there's this amazing orchard that bears fruit year-round. Pears, pomegranates, apples, figs, always ripe, regardless of the season. It suggests a land blessed by the gods.
A stark contrast to the chaos and danger he just came from. So he walks in, still hidden by the mist.
Yes, he walks right through the main hall where King Alcinous, Queen Arete, and their nobles are feasting.
You must be feeling pretty nervous.
I imagine so. He waits for the right moment. Then, just as Athena advised, the mist dissolves, and he makes a beeline for Queen Arete.
And does what Nausicaa told him.
Exactly. He falls to his knees, clasps her knees, and makes his plea, a formal supplication.
And the reaction? Silence. Shock.
Total shock. Imagine this stranger suddenly appearing out of nowhere, grabbing the queen's knees during a feast. Everyone is just staring.
Awkward. Who breaks the silence?
There's this moment of stunned silence, and then an old, respected advisor named Echeneus speaks up.
What does he say?
He basically reminds King Alcinous of the rules of hospitality, Xenia. He says, look, this man has come as a suppliant to the queen. It's not right to leave him kneeling on the hearth. We should welcome him.
Ah, invoking that sacred guest host duty.
Precisely. It's a powerful appeal in their culture.
And Alcinous listens.
He does. Immediately. He raises Odysseus up, offers him he actually gives him the seat of his favorite son, and orders food and drink to be brought.
Proper hospitality, then, despite the weird entrance.
Absolutely. Odysseus eats and drinks, finally getting some real sustenance and comfort.
Does Alcinous ask who he is right away?
Not immediately. First, he offers hospitality. Then he assures Odysseus that the Phaeacians are the best sailors in the world and promises they'll arrange passage for him to get home, wherever home is, starting the very next day.
Wow, just like that, before even knowing his story.
Just like that. Provided, Alcinous adds, that he is who he appears to be, a mortal man in need, and not some god in disguise testing them. And he does ask him to share his story eventually.
A very generous offer. How does Odysseus respond? He still hasn't revealed his name, has he?
No, not yet. He expresses immense gratitude, thanks the king profusely, but says he's too worn out and grief-stricken to tell his tale right now. He agrees to share everything the next day.
Buys himself some time. And probably needs the rest.
Definitely. Alcinous understands and orders the servants to prepare a comfortable bed for their guest.
So after all the trials, Calypso's island, the shipwreck, the desperate arrival Odysseus finally has a safe place to sleep.
Yes, a proper bed in a magnificent, welcoming palace. He sleeps deeply, utterly exhausted.
So he's found refuge. He's been shown incredible kindness, especially considering how he arrived.
But he's still a man of mystery to them. As Odysseus settles into the unexpected luxury of the Phaeacian palace, finally getting some rest, you have to wonder, what's next?
Yeah, what wonders and maybe challenges does this land hold? Will he finally tell them who he really is, Odysseus, king of Ithaca? Reveal his incredible journey.
And what about Queen Arete? Nausicaa said she was key. What role will this wise queen play in his fate? Will she be the one to unlock his passage home?
Lots of questions hanging in the air. We know the Phaeacians are famed sailors, but what else do we know about them? It feels like a crucial turning point.
It really does. We'll have to see how it unfolds. Join us next time as we continue Odysseus' story among the Phaeacians.
Looking forward to it.
This was Cozy Reading Club, the podcast where we read the book and tell you about it so you don't have to. If you like this series, we invite you to take a look at other series in our podcast and leave a nice review on the platform you are listening this on.